Hello. Welcome to Tutors of Life podcast, where we research life so you don't have to. Episode 386. This is your host, Shaun Tutor.
And this is Sam. And this is a talk episode where the tutors talk.
I think we need to start interviewing people.
Yeah, we need to move the podcast studio.
We do. We do indeed.
Mm-hmm. So, what about it?
I'm just saying, I think that would be cool.
Mm-hmm. That was my plan for a couple of weekends, but we've been just chilling, I feel like. We haven't really been doing anything.
Dude, I don't know. Yeah, we just let life go on by.
Mm-hmm.
When you don't, like we talked about this today, when you don't have it like written down,
mm-hmm.
when you don't have it planned out, it doesn't happen.
Yep.
It's just like, oh, well, I'll just do whatever today then, because we didn't have any plans, so we'll just hang out.
Yeah. And having a child attached to my chest all the time also hinders it a little bit.
Definitely hinders it a good amount.
Yeah.
A good amount. What's nice about having the child, though, is we're not going and doing things.
Yeah.
Like, we're not, like, gone every weekend doing shit.
That's very true.
Because that's pretty much how life was.
Mm-hmm.
Most weekends gone doing shit.
Or we filled it with stupid shit.
Dumb shit. Now it's like, hanging with the kid.
Mm-hmm.
Doing some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Let's just talk about what we were talking about downstairs. Because I think it's an interesting thing happening in the lovely city of Eau Claire.
What do you got?
So volume 1 of people that are not Eau Claire natives is like a little local newspaper magazine thing that it only comes out like every other week or once a month.
Something.
I don't know.
I think once a month.
Yeah. But they also have a website, and they released an article the other day, updating about all the new buildings going up, all the new apartment buildings going up, and it's close to 2,000 units.
Is that what it is?
I think it's close, because 200, and then there was 500 plus
900.
3 300s.
3 300s?
Or 2 300s.
So 1,500.
And then there's just a couple of small ones. So
like
probably 16.
1,600, 1,700.
Yeah.
Wow.
And those are just projects that are like starting. Or have started, I should say. I think only one out of those hasn't broken ground yet, but it's approved.
Only one hasn't broken ground?
I believe so.
Holy smokes, that's a lot of building.
Yeah, because some of the other ones, they're like phase 2 out of 3 phases or something. Yeah.
Jeez. I guess I didn't realize how much that's like progressed.
Yeah.
Hot dog.
Mm-hmm. And then that is also not including 2 projects that have fallen through. One, which had started, but the company has 3 liens against them now, so I don't think they'll finish that one.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then I don't know why the other one fell through, but there was another apartment building that fell through. So, because this has been something that, obviously Shaun's been talking about building apartments and whatnot, and
Well, small stuff like 4 to 8 units.
yeah, and I've been hesitant even with smaller things, just because I keep seeing how many buildings are going up, and you got to think those also don't include anything going on in Altoona.
Correct, but hold on. This is what I still stand by, and I think a lot of people will agree with me.
Okay.
There's a market for fourplexes no matter what. First-time home buyers house hacking.
Yeah.
So no matter what, there's a market for duplex and fourplex. Fourplex more than duplex.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Yep. That's why I still stand behind building those. Because worst case, you make money.
Right. But
for me, since I'm building it, understand that. If you're buying it, that's different. But for me, building it, worst case, I make money.
Yeah. But so we were just discussing all the things going up and how the city is going to crash the market here.
I think it's going to definitely hurt the market. Because we're going to have an oversupply of houses or oversupply of units. And I know right now they say, oh, we need to catch up with the demand. Okay, hold on. As we have seen, people are going back to the office. Government employees are going back. But more importantly, a lot of employees are going back. I don't know if you've seen Jamie Dimon.
No.
He's been talking about the importance of getting back in the office. Jamie Dimon, he's the CEO of JP Morgan Chase.
Okay.
And he was on a Zoom and someone leaked the Zoom of him just tearing into people. Like, you need to be in office. You should be working 60, 70 hours a week. He said, like, our culture, what the kind of people I want people working Monday through Saturday, some Sundays, 60 hours a week. I want go-getters and I want them in the office. That's the type of people I want. If you don't want to be like that, do not be in my organization. Period. And people are like, well, whatever, like, being in office isn't necessary and whatever. In that Zoom call, out of the 14 or however many people, 5 people were on their phones not paying attention. You could look at their video. They were on their phones not paying attention. And so, like, his point was proven right there by, like, 1/3 or 1/4 of the people in that Zoom call were not even paying attention.
Damn, dude.
As he's just laying in going, we need to be back in the office. If you want to work for JP Morgan Chase, you're going to be in the office. That's that. And I think a lot of companies are getting to that. And, I've talked about it before, the 4-hour work week. The guy talks about getting out of the office and setting up all sorts of different things so you can work less and be out of the office and all this. Dude, that's what people have been doing the last 10 years, 15 years. Culture is shifting. People want you in the office. They want you mingling. Because the thing that people aren't thinking about, when you're in the office or like when you're at work with people, you get creative juices flowing. Sure, you got talk around the bubble. Sure, you have waste. It has been proven there is waste in the office. It's fucking proven there's waste in the office. However, you get to be around other people. You get the juices flowing. You get mentoring and things like that. Camaraderie, all that. Point being, what I'm getting to, a lot of people move from Minneapolis, St. Paul. Almost the whole development in Altoona was Minnesota plates 3 years ago. Okay. Minneapolis, where they have their jobs. What happens when it moves back to in-person?
Right.
All those apartment buildings empty. Okay. Now they need to, the demand is higher. Well, Eau Claire hasn't grown. Eau Claire job market hasn't grown.
Yeah, no.
Chippewa's job market's growing a little bit, but if anything, I mean, we've gone down. We've had big hospitals close. Like, the job market in Eau Claire hasn't gone up.
No.
And look at how many buildings downtown don't have shit in it.
Yeah, that's very true.
You know
Commercial
what I'm saying?
buildings,
yeah. Okay, so job markets in Eau Claire hasn't gone up, but all of a sudden we have a higher demand for housing. Well, it's because people moved here from Minnesota, Minneapolis, St. Paul, whatever, because they didn't want to live up there and they could work remotely. All right, cool. So we've added over the last 5 years, since COVID and everything, I think, and then with this new, roughly 5,000 units. So actually, it might be a little more than that, but so roughly around 5,000 units. Okay. All right. How many of those did we actually need for people in Eau Claire? What if it's 1,000?
Yeah.
What if it's 2,500? Okay, cool. We're going to have 2,500 vacant units. Okay, so why is this a problem and crashing the market and stuff like this? This happened down in Austin, Texas. A lot of people moving from California, remote jobs, whatever. But they're flooding in there, so they're building. We got to keep up with demand. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. Now they oversaturated the market with new construction, and that has an impact on houses or on other rentals too, because, well, these people are either going to lose the project or they've got deep pockets, so they're going to discount their rents. Now that they're discounting their rents so they can try to get some people in there, now that's going to affect the normal landlord who's got, medium grade rentals or, a little bit higher grade rentals. Now they're going to have to decrease their rent to compete with the brand new stuff. And also, it's not even necessarily that it's going to fill. It just may increase vacancy. Like you might not even, did I say fill or sell?
You said fill.
Okay. Thank you. Like if there's that many extra units, well, people, if you need $1,000 a month rent, but they discounted theirs to $1,200 and they can go live in a brand new apartment compared to yours that's 30 years old, you might just start having vacancies. So I think it's a net negative.
Yeah.
And I don't think building's a net negative. I don't think development's a net negative. I think building and development's a net negative when you're not actually increasing jobs.
Yeah, for sure.
Or
like physical jobs. Yeah.
When you're not increasing the actual physical jobs in the location, building and development at that scale, I believe, is bad.
Yeah.
Now, if it's little stuff here and there, 100 unit here, some twin homes here, some whatever, couple 12 units, all right, cool, no big deal. But when you're talking about putting up 260 units, 300 units, a 500 unit, and then we've already had how many go up? Now we're getting into a situation where it's like, have we added, let's just say 2,500 jobs in Eau Claire?
No.
Not that I know of. Unless I'm unaware of
some big manufacturer,
some big businesses that have came in the area, I don't think we've added 2,500 jobs in the last couple of years.
I don't think we've added 250 jobs in the last couple of years.
I don't know. Because, we've had a couple hospitals close.
Right.
So we've definitely taken away a couple hundred jobs.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to figure out where. I don't know any big company that started here. Do you know can you think of any big company offhand?
They've just opened up more fast food chains, and that's about all I can think of.
Man.
Also, you don't see as much anymore? Now hiring signs.
No, definitely not.
What was it, 2019, 2020? It was right before 2020.
Sure.
Everywhere had no hiring signs.
Yeah.
And because that was a huge issue because people were just able to quit their jobs and go to other jobs at different the same position at a different company for a higher wage because everyone was so desperate for workers.
That's right.
Don't see any of those signs anymore.
No, you don't. And you and I have been talking about that over the last few years. Like, people are like, well, I'll just fucking quit and get a different job. It's like, and I tell Sam, that's going to come to an end. It's going to come to an end. How do we know some smaller businesses that have gone out of business or are going out of business? Like, dude, I'm not seeing how we're filling 5,000 units.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing it. Well, granted, I'm not sure how many of them are already filled, but, over the last 4 years, I believe they've built around, since 2019 to now, I believe it's been around 3,000 units.
Probably. They're not all filled.
No, they're not all filled. They aren't all filled. But I'm sure a lot of them are.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of that's filled.
Probably 75%.
Maybe more. I don't know. But my only thought is, I know a lot of them filled from people from Minnesota.
Yeah.
What happens when half of them have to go back to work?
Right. Well, and think about it too. we've talked about how cheap Eau Claire is.
Yeah.
What kind of person in their right mind is going to pay $2,000 for a 2-bedroom apartment?
It's not happening. Well, I think it's $1,700 for some of the 2 beds, right?
Yeah, I don't remember. Remember the really nice ones by the soccer fields? I couldn't remember what those ones were. I thought those ones were outrageous, though.
Were they?
Yeah.
I know they're high.
Yeah.
I know they're really high.
Either way, it doesn't. Even if it's a 3-bedroom for $2,000, that's ridiculous. You can buy a house for that.
I know there's some like 3-bed, 2 baths for like $2,000 to $2,400.
You can buy a fucking house for that.
Yeah. Granted, they are nicer than houses that you can get in that price range, but the thing is the culture. I'm not sure. I'm not sure the culture of people wanting to rent those kind of things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like before, Eau Claire kind of had more of a culture of like privacy, single family, whatever. But I know people from the cities and stuff have more of a culture of like apartments.
I mean, they're used to it. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, and then I think millennials and Gen X might be a little more like, yeah, apartments, don't need to take care of shit, whatever. So if that's the case, it could pan out.
I suppose like the younger generation too probably realizes and have been told like, oh, you probably won't buy a house. So they're probably just like, all right, I'll just rent. Like,
yeah,
they're not expecting it.
That could definitely be true. I don't know.
Oh, and on top of this too, guys, this doesn't include any of the housing developments that are going up as well.
Oh, no. Yeah, because like there's housing developments, new houses being built all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it doesn't include most of the twin homes that keep being built and shit.
Yeah.
It,
yeah, so those are only apartments for rent that that article is about. It wasn't about any of the other things.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to watch. It's also something to think about too is like Eau Claire doesn't have the infrastructure to accommodate for all these people.
Right, especially when a lot of the units are going downtown.
Like downtown is not built to be that busy.
No, it wasn't. It's definitely, it'll change to where there's going to be a lot. It's just going to take an extra 5-10 minutes anytime you want to go anywhere just because of traffic.
Mm-hmm.
Which if you're from the cities, that doesn't seem that big of a deal, but here that's going to piss off a lot of locals.
Yeah. When we used to be able to get from one side of town to the other in 20 minutes, if not less.
Yeah, I mean, but if you think about something, if you're somewhat central, everything's 10 minutes away.
That's true, yeah. But if it's just 10 minutes just to get 10
out
blocks,
of town,
yeah,
people are just going to start getting pissed.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm interested to see how that all plays out. I don't personally think it's the best thing.
Mm-hmm.
However, what do I know?
Yeah. Another like quick thing too is like the university isn't growing. Like their admissions have gone down
10% or something.
Yeah. So
well, it doesn't help that they are wildly liberal.
Only a little bit.
Jesus.
I had a dream about college Republicans the other day. I don't know why. I don't remember what it was all about.
College Republicans?
Yeah.
What's that?
Like Republican. Like I remember at UWC there was like a group. I couldn't remember what they were called. So that's why I just called them college Republicans.
Oh, it's like a group.
Yeah. So it was just like the Republican Party
in college.
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't know what you're talking about.
Because I think they actually do debates too.
Oh, sure.
And then like they have a representative go to like the board meetings or whatever. So
it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Campus Republicans. I think that's what they call it.
Well, and also, so we know admissions has fallen.
Mm-hmm.
As we've learned, degrees don't mean much anymore.
Useless.
Pretty much.
I mean, we have to think, we graduated 7 years ago. 7 years ago, with my degree, the highest paying job I could get was $15 an hour, plus I needed to still go get a certificate. $15 an hour with a bachelor's degree.
Right.
And that was 7 years ago.
Right.
It's got to be even worse now.
Right. Yeah, unless you're STEM, right? I think it's called STEM. Science, technology, engineering, math.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
STEM. Yeah. Yeah, something like that. Unless you're that, it ain't making sense.
No.
It's not making much sense. I do think now your trade schools are going to be a little more.
I think the tech colleges will start really growing. And we've seen CVTC has really grown.
Dude, if you think about it, you can go to a 1 to 2 year program and make a good living. Pretty much any trade. You want to know something else?
And they could build those giant. I haven't been looking at your sound.
You're fine.
Then you can go to trade school and start making the giant apartment buildings that aren't going to get rented out.
Well, something that's crazy is like, so in 2013 when I was going to school, I had some friends and my brother and stuff, mechanics, auto body, stuff like that, was hiring for around like $11 to $13 an hour, $11 to $14 an hour. And that's around 2014 to 2016. Yeah, I think around 2014 to 2016, you'd be hired anywhere from 11 to 14 for mechanics, auto body around here. Starting out now for that's like 25. If you've got some experience, is like 35 plus.
Dang.
So it's like, if you think about how much inflation has gone up, so for the average folk, their income hasn't gotten, so a lot of average folk, their income hasn't gone up that much. But if you were a mechanic and you were around like $18 to $21 an hour, well, now 3-4 years later, that mechanic who was doing it for a number of years with that experience, they're now at like 30, 35. So their wages change drastically. And this same thing goes with union contract, like union guys, the construction guys, the plumbers, dude, the union guys, their wages. I remember I looked at union when I was 19 or 20, when I was 20. And it was like $21 an hour starting, 22, whatever. And then once you become a journeyman, so you start as an apprentice, that's what it is. When you became a journeyman back then, it was like $27.50. Now, it's like 45 once you become a journeyman.
Oh, wow.
Something like that.
That's major.
It's like a big deal. It's a big deal. I know some guys making $50 an hour.
Yeah.
In the union.
I mean, we've heard of just regular handyman making $50, $75 an hour.
Well, those are the guys that work for themselves.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Those are self-employed guys making that much. But it's crazy to think of like, dude, your general laborers working for people now. You know, it's all, dude, when I started out in 2014, 2015, 2016, as a general laborer, 12 to 16 an hour. 12 to 16 an hour. 16 once you've had some good experience.
Yeah. I just realized it too. So with my degree, I could have gotten a job at $15 an hour. But instead I went to Gold Star, and I started at $13.50 and I was at 14 within I think it was after the first month.
I thought you started at 15.
Did I start at 15?
You started at 15.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah. How crazy is that?
Yeah, no, it's stupid. It's stupid. It's yeah, it's stupid. Well, there's so many things, dude, that's like, it doesn't make sense, dude, when you think of it long term. Like, school doesn't make sense for most folks now.
No.
So you're gonna see more and more of people not going to school. So if the college ain't growing, population keeps growing, or the housing and stuff keeps growing, but population ain't growing at these universities. It's not good.
No.
And they wanted to bring freshmen and sophomores up on campus. Remember that? They're trying to do that.
Oh, yeah, they were.
Yep.
Probably because they built those new fancy fucking buildings, and
they need people to fill them.
Yeah, and it's stupid expensive to fucking live in them.
And they're probably trying to get more meal plans and stuff like that to try and get more money in.
Yeah. And they didn't expand the cafeteria there, did they? I don't think so. I think Hilltop's still the same.
I haven't been there in ever. Since 2014, probably. 2013, 14. Jeez, that's crazy.
Dude.
What the fuck?
Dude, this is my 14 year. So next year was my 15 reunion.
Yeah.
Dang.
Hold.
Okay, Mr. 12 years.
Is what it is, dude. Never be as old as you.
So yeah, it's just going to be interesting to see what happens in the housing market here. I think, like we were talking about the other day, I think lower priced, like remodeled houses will keep doing really well.
Oh, 100%. Your first time home buyer houses, of course. Your houses in your good neighborhoods. There's just some neighborhoods that are sought after. The houses are going to sell. It's just how it is.
I don't think these new builds are going to sell, and it shows. You look at the market. There's
a lot of them up for sale right now.
A lot of them
up for sale.
And there's quite a few. There's quite a few south side on acre lots. So I mean that's nice.
Oh, that's pretty nice.
$750,000.
New builds?
Yeah. And I even looked in them, but new builds, when we were looking 4 or 5 years ago, they didn't have finished basements. There were only 2-bed, 2 baths.
Yeah.
So you had to finish the basement.
That's right.
So I don't know if that's how these ones are too.
Most of them are like that.
Yeah.
Here's something probably not for $750,000.
Yeah, I think those ones are 4-bed.
Yeah, of course they have to be for $750,000. They have to be.
Well, they don't have to be.
Well,
they should be.
This is what I'll say. With today's interest rate, there's not many people in Eau Claire that can afford that.
No.
We're not the cities, and people want to think that we are. You know what? If we had interest rates and we've ran the numbers, we've looked at it because we looked at a $500,000 property when interest rates were at 2.5%, 3%, and we look at them now. Boy, you're talking about a big difference in price.
Big difference.
Big difference in price. And so if we were talking about lower interest rates and you're talking about a $500,000, $750,000 house, $500,000 to $750,000 home, I think there's a good handful of people in Eau Claire that can afford that pretty easily.
Yeah.
Today's interest rate, man, you've counted a lot of people out. And that's why people aren't selling their houses with 2.5% interest rate. Yeah. Why would they?
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Fuck that. You're not going to.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we were tempted to stay in our old house because of that.
100%. We had 2.25 interest rate.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, dude. This is sick.
And now, now we're paying $400 more a month.
Yeah.
For, a smaller house, bigger lot, but still.
I don't know, dude. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just crazy. It's just crazy is all it is.
Mm-hmm.
But,
yeah. So that's what, I just wanted to talk about that quickly today about, I shouldn't say quickly. It's what we talked about the whole time.
30 minutes in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about your guns real quick.
What do you mean? I wasn't even going to bring them up. They weren't on my mind. It wasn't going to be the next thing I brought up. Did I tell people I won a gun at a banquet?
I think so.
Okay. So I went and picked up my 1911 Kimba 1911, and it's fucking sweet, dude. It is fucking sweet. I cannot wait to go shoot.
Mm-hmm.
I am so jacked.
Mm-hmm.
And while I was there, I was like, well, I've always wanted a nice 22.
Mm-hmm.
My other 22 is a Ruger 1022 that I won when I was 12 years old at a gun banquet. Well, archery banquet. And I was like, it's time to buy a nice 22. So I got a Henry Golden Boy lever action 22.
It's pretty nice.
Oh, it's fucking cool.
I should say it looks nice.
Oh, it's cool, man. I can't wait to go shoot.
So
I cannot wait.
was the black one, is that one also called the Golden Boy, or is
No.
okay?
No. The Golden Boy, because it's gold.
Well, that's what I
baby.
figured.
Yeah. Ooh.
So what was the black one called?
I don't know. I don't care.
Oh, okay, cool.
Sharp, baby.
It looks cool. Are you gonna keep it polished too?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Just want to make sure.
I'm going to baby that gun.
That's good.
I'm excited. I am super excited. So very happy to have guns. Went out and picked him up yesterday in the Evo.
With the baby.
Lily's first trip in the Evo.
That was, how'd that go?
It's fine. I just can't give it a lot of gas.
No. Shaun has to be real smooth with shifting.
Otherwise, that little baby head will be flopping around back there. But I figure when she's probably a good year and a half, she'll be good.
Probably.
Yeah. Yep. Be able to hold her neck better and stuff. And
I think once it past 7-8 months, they can hold their necks pretty well.
well, whenever that seat gets turned around.
Oh, that's not for 2.5 years.
No.
Yeah.
That's not true.
Claire just had her switched.
That's fucking stupid. Are you serious?
Yeah, it's 2 years. Babies are safer backwards than they are forward. I should say kids.
Not when you're smashing through gears, they're not. Okay, cool. Well, whenever their neck's stronger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Anything else?
The stock market's not doing the best, is it?
No. That started going down. Egg prices went down, though.
Egg prices went down.
Haven't heard any liberals talk about that lately.
Did you know they had the biggest private party purchase of egg laying hens ever in history?
That sounds sketchy.
Over the last couple weeks?
Sounds sketchy. Okay.
Think about it. Private.
Oh, so you mean the sale of them?
The sale of them. So
I thought you meant one person bought
No.
Okay,
no,
got
no.
it. Yeah.
So
yeah.
they killed off around. I think they killed off around 500 million.
Yeah, too many.
Or 500,000. 500,000. I think they killed off around 500,000 chickens.
Okay.
Whatever. They killed off a bunch of chickens because of the potential for bird flu.
Yeah.
Whatever it was. But so that prices went way up. So people, normal everyday citizens, the biggest ever recorded amount of private citizenry going out and buying egg laying hens. Because people are like, fuck it. I'm getting chickens. And around here, you can have up to 5 hens
In town.
I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing more.
Oh, yeah.
We've talked about doing it here. We got a big lot and stuff. So, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Interesting.
I think we could have a goat here, but that'd be frowned upon.
That lady has a horse.
Fucking right she does.
Yeah.
Good point. Whoa. Mimi with a fucking goat, dude. That'd be funny.
Dude, they'd fucking butt heads all the time.
Oh, it'd be bad. Mimi'd be retarded.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, that's what I got for today.
All right, gang. Well, a little shorter one. We got a baby to tend to.
Yep.
So we'll catch you on the next one.
See ya.